Gingrich against Romney? Not so fast. That's the subject of today's video. I hope you're going to have a nice lunch. Everybody is sort of assuming that Kaine is gone, and Perry's gone, and Bachmann's gone, and Santorum never arrived, and Paul is gone, and Huntsman's gone, and it's going to come down to Newt against Mitt. And clearly Newt and Mitt will be in the final mix. But there's room for a third candidate, and that's what we want to talk about today. Don't look at the candidates in deciding who's going to make the final. Look at the constituents. Look at the voters. That's really what you have to do. You have to think of the Republican primary as like a baseball or football league with a series of divisions, each one separate, each one having their own champion, who then competes in the playoffs and goes into the finals. So the first division is the plain old vanilla Republican Party of economic conservatives that's existed for many, many years, and that is obviously rallying to Romney. That's the Club for Growth and Chamber of Commerce, Fortune 500, that crowd. Then you have the second group, which is sort of derivative of that, which is the party establishment, the state committee, the national committee, the precinct workers, the people who've been Republicans their whole lives and are part of the embedded Republican organization in a lot of those states. And that's probably going 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 for Romney, the one being for Newt. None of them are backing any of the others, really. Then you come to the third, the national security Republicans, the crowd that brought us John McCain. And they probably are going to go for Gingrich because he's much stronger on that issue. Romney's very good on that issue, but you know, it's right in Gingrich's wheelhouse. It's what he's been doing for 30 or 40 years. So he'll probably get the bulk of that vote. But then there are two other divisions in this party that do not have a dog in that Romney-Gingrich hunt. One of them is the evangelicals. They're not going to support Romney illegitimately and disgracefully because he's Mormon. And they're not necessarily going to support Newt. Their feeling during his speakership was always that he put social issues on the back burner, economic and national security issues ahead of them. Many have concerns about some of the personal issues. And that group is not enthusiastic about Gingrich. They're warming up to him, but they're not there yet. And they certainly are not going to support Romney, as we said. So they need to have a candidate. And then you have the Tea Party people, who are never going to support Romney unless he's the nominee because of his health care position. And they're suspicious of Gingrich. They don't like that he was flirting with Nancy Pelosi on global warming. They think that he's more of the establishment party rather than the Tea Party, even though he's kind of over in that toward the Tea Party direction. He's not Boehner, God knows, but he's not Rand Paul either. And then you have, and they basically are looking for a candidate from among the others. So you have two big factions in the party, the Tea Party and the evangelicals, and they have basically four candidates to choose from. Kaine or Bachmann or Santorum or, I'm pulling a Perry now, Kaine, Santorum, Bachmann, or Perry. No wonder I leave the name out. So they have to choose among those four candidates. And they're not going to go for Ron Paul because he's just too extreme, and they're not going to go for Huntsman because he's too liberal. So what are they going to do? Well, Kaine surged and then fell back because of the charges of sex harassment. I think both of those groups tend to write those charges off as just pure politics and don't pay much attention to them. But I do believe that they're worried that Kaine might not be able to hack it on international and defense issues. They worry that he was pretty weak on those topics in the debate, and he's got to do better in the future. Bachmann surged and through no fault of her own dropped. She didn't mess up. Perry dragged her down when he got into the race. And Bachmann still could come back and still could be a formidable candidate with the support of those two groups. Perry, I think, has disqualified himself because of his vaccine position on the cervical cancer vaccine, and also because of his immigration position. And Santorum kind of never arrived. He sort of has never been in the mix, and I'm not sure he has the ability to project himself. Now, it is possible that those four candidates are each so somewhat flawed that they then say, okay, we'll support Gingrich because we want to support anybody but Romney. And it is possible that that happens and it becomes a two-way fight after all. But those four candidates have some growing to do. Iowa could be their possible launching pad, and don't be so quick to say this is a two-way race. Thanks very much for watching.